Good morning. One of the things that I wish someone had told me in sales when I first started out is that everything is temporary. I really wish somebody had pulled me aside and just said, you know what, Bill, don't freak out. Don't worry. If something's going bad, it's going to get better. We didn't think about the opposite side. If something's going really well, it's going to end. But that's part of it as well. So when I first started out in sales, I just graduated from UMass Amherst, and I got a job selling business forms for UARCO Business Forms out of Chicago. I was very, very fortunate to go to work for them. They professionally trained everyone. They brought you back in every 6 months, and a lot of the lessons that I have learned stay with me. Solve the problem, earn the order is one of them, for example. But in any event, you first start out, and I was living about an hour and a half from my folks, and I was in an office in my second bedroom, and I was basically set up for failure, but I didn't. But I remember that summer was just one of sheer frustration. You're banging your head against the wall, and you're wondering, am I doing anything right? Am I doing anything wrong? I'm just not getting any results. I'm not getting any feedback. It was so frustrating. And eventually, I struck a little gold. I got an appointment, I solved a problem, and I earned an order. And I thought, great, it's linear. I'm going to just keep going and going and going. And I had a couple of reorders, and I actually had a pretty decent month, my second or third month, and I thought, man, I can do this. I thought I had turned the corner. No. Everything came back to zero. And I found that no one was returning phone calls. This is before voicemail, by the way. That I couldn't get any appointments, that no one wanted to see me. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought things were going really well. And what I didn't realize was that the failure that I was having was temporary, because eventually things would pick up again. And then, fast forward a bit. And I experienced my first rush of business. It's raining business. The phone kept ringing and people are placing orders. The things are going great. I'm having a phenomenal month and holy cow. And what I didn't realize was everything's temporary and this too shall pass. And I say this to you because I think it's important. It's important that you have a strategy for everything that happens to you in sales. The high highs, celebrate them. Fantastic. High five, chest bump, and then get over it and move on. And when things are not going well for you, recognize the fact this is temporary. That, I can control what I can control, and that's it. I just have this little space right here, and I've got to do my job. That's a very important phrase. I have to do my job. What's my job? The job is ultimately measured by results, ultimately. But I want to end every single day by saying, I started my day with a plan. I made my sales calls, good quality sales calls. I got back on track when I fell off, when there was a shiny object or the phone rang or somebody needed to talk to me at the press or whatever. That a good job is done when you hit your priorities, and at the end of the day, you make a plan for the next day. I focused on my activities, and that's what you need to do as well. Do your job. Focus on your activities day in, day out. That's what's going to get you out of that rut, that drop in motivation, that, oh my God, no one's buying from me. I'm going to get fired at any moment. Focus on the activities. Do your best. It's one of the 4 agreements, one of the best books you can read, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And those of you who have seen it right now are saying, yep, he's right. I am right. It's a great book. Do your best. Always do your best. Because there's 2 types of failure, like I told you recently. There's failure, I think it was a blog. There's failure when you try your hardest and failure when you don't. And it's only the first one that's acceptable. So understand, everything in the sales is temporary. Everything's going to pass. The high highs, the low lows, keep that in mind, especially if you're a young sales rep and you're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, am I doing this whole thing right? Because I tell you, I've been in sales for 35 years and I still go through those down times and I still have those high times and I still have to remind myself, this is going to go away. It's all temporary. That's part of the job. It's one of the reasons why sales is not for everybody, because people want that safe linear approach. That's not it for us. Sales is cyclical. All right. And when things are going crazy busy and business is way up at the top, part of your strategy is Because I think, in my opinion, it's got to be to keep working as hard as you can. Because this is a time when you are making the most money. When things are down at the bottom, this is a little tip from my brother Andy. He'd say, when things are busy, crazy busy, work your tail off. When it's quiet, go play golf. Interesting strategy. So that's it for this week. Hope you have a great selling week, everybody. I am finally home, yay. After a long period of travel, something I can do for you, give me a call. Talk to you next week.